So here in our farm, we currently have 5 cows or 5 heads of cattle, 3 of which are beef cows and the other 2 are dairy cows. I use that term cow loosely because I'm learning like a cow doesn't describe every one of them, but a cow is specifically a term that is used for a cow, I guess, that has already had a calf. So in reality, on my farm, I've only got 1 cow. I have 3 heifers, which are, I guess, cows that have never had a calf. And I've got 1 bull. So I looked at my different cows here, and I'm learning every single day. And I watch them intently, and one thing I've noticed is that I have 2 Angus heifers, and they're probably about 1.5 years old-ish. And looking at them, they look different, and I was always kind of curious as to why. So why they look different is that one of them still has some of their winter coat, and one of them does not. So what I didn't realize was that there was actually a scoring method for that. But when you score it, you have to do it at the same time every year. It should always be done on yearlings or older, and you should do it on the whole herd to get a more accurate number for this, or accurate score. Here, this is Louise. Now, Louise has some of her coat left, and not a lot of it, but she still has some of it. So her score would actually be higher, closer to a 5. But she doesn't have her entire winter coat. A lot of it's been shed. So there's some specific guidelines on that exactly where she falls. But here's Dexter. Hey, buddy. Oh boy. Good old bull. He's funny. Probably wants a treat. And then this is Thelma over here. Now, Thelma's winter coat is completely gone. Right here, I don't know how well you can see her in the camera. But because her coat is completely gone, her score is a 0. So I learned something new here. I thought that these cows were just like not shedding their winter coat because of minerals or what have you, but that's actually like a genetic trait that's heavily desirable to see their tolerance or adaptivity to the warmer climate here. So that's a very, very good genetic trait to have, like how Thelma has, and very desirable in a herd if they shed their coat. So she's definitely looking good. So today was the first day that I ever really had heard about that. And so I started reading about it. I was like, gosh, it's just interesting, and it's something different. It's something that I never really thought, but it makes sense that if they have a good genetic trait like that it would be desirable to have that in these warmer climates. Because we're here in South Carolina, where it gets really, really, really hot in the summertime. And just like me and you, I'm sure that these cattle or these cows can get miserable in the heat. So you wouldn't want that. So I'm reading more and more about it, and I'm definitely not an expert on it. Today is the first time that I've really I've seen it. So I'm trying to learn out more and more about it. So the more and more I read into it, it comes up that there's fescue toxicosis is another thing that it can be a sign of. And fescue toxicosis, and what little I've read about it today, it's that, as the weather warms up and these cows are eating the grass, it changes how they adapt to it versus coming straight off the hay in the wintertime. There's so many different things here with this cattle and these cows that it's really, really cool to read up on. As I'm making this video today, I can't help but hear Dexter in the background. He's definitely going on and on and on. He's very, very vocal. And what it is he's right here. You hear that? On cue. Now, I turn around right here, and over here, there's our 2 Jersey cow / heifer. So I'm almost 100% certain that our Jersey heifer, who is Hallie, is currently in heat. And I'm pretty certain that Dexter can sense that. Well, I've kept them a good distance apart. So our heifer and cow are over there, and there's probably a couple 100 feet between them, and they're separated by 2 sets of fences to keep them separated. So Dexter is always calling out to the girls. So in the morning, he's always vocal, and then in the evenings, he is also. But now he hasn't gotten really aggressive, because I've heard, or I've read up, that bulls will actually try to just charge right through a fence and are successful at charging through fences. So now here's where we go back kind of full circle here. So when we first got Dexter, a bull, but he's a Dexter bull, they're not known for being overly aggressive and pushing through fences like how Angus are. Angus bulls are known to be pretty aggressive and they'll charge through fences, but our heifers over here, Thelma and Louise, are Angus heifers, but they're not super aggressive because I'm around them all the time, hanging out in their pasture like this, talking to them, and I feel like I'm around them enough where they've got it, like they're adapted to us. But just because they're adapted to me doesn't mean that they're going to be adaptive to avoiding jumping a fence to get to another cow. But I feel confident that Dexter won't do that. So here's something funny that I keep running into. I'm literally trying to take Chester and I say, let's go to your, I call it a safe place because he's safe there away from like the tractors and all that stuff. And I always put him in one of our barn stalls for his protection so he doesn't get hurt as I'm moving stuff around here on the farm. And I'm like, hey, Chester, let's go to your safe place. And he looks at me and he's like, not today. And he goes and he lays down on the ground right here and he won't move. So I guess he's gonna be lucky he's gonna get to stay out today. But I do that also because he tends to get the cows worked up, and I'm trying to make this a really nice and easy, relaxing time for them. So I've got their treats right here and I've got their halter, and I'm not going to try to use this halter tonight. I'm just going to have this halter on my person so they see it, and I'm trying to keep this a nice slow transition for them to make this really easy so I can get them used to seeing the halter and get them used to being walked by using their halter. So I walk in here and I'm met by Faith, and Faith, she's got some experience. See her, she's right there behind me along with Hallie. Now, what I like to do at night is I like to walk out here in the pasture with them, and I walk nice and easy. I'm not trying to overexert them or overwork them or anything like that, but I like to take it nice and easy so they get used to walking with me. Because my goal is that when they're in milk, I can just walk out here, I can call their name, and they're gonna come walk to me, and they'll walk right into the stanchion, or I can milk them and then I'll let them go. I should be nice and easy process for them, right? So let's give it a shot here. But before I get there, I want to show you what happened to me this morning. So I came out in the morning and I check on all the animals every day before I go to work. And I come out here and Hallie was on the other side of this line right here. Now, this line, it might be kind of hard to see on the video, but this line right here, it's literally set up just because I'm trying to let that part of this paddock grow back right now, because when I first got her and Faith were in here solely. They weren't moving all over the big pasture yet, and they really ate the grass down really well. But it'll grow back. It's coastal Bermuda. It's really good grass. It can take it, but I want to let it grow up. I'm trying to let it green up. Well, Hallie, at some point during the night, got on the other side of that wire, and I came out and she's just standing there looking at me like, what are you gonna do? You gotta help me out. So I literally put the wire down and she jumped right back on the other side of it. No problem. She never got hurt, but she's always safe because our entire pasture is surrounded by 4 wires, 2 of which are hot, 2 are not. And so she was never in any danger of escaping or anything like that, but I'm trying to keep the cows restricted to smaller paddocks to allow other areas to grow up, at least now for the time being, while I'm replanting a lot of the pasture, getting it to grow up, and really trying to get this to be really, really good, plentiful grass for these cows down in the future. Now, last night when I was feeding these cows, Faith came up and gave me a little nudge on my backside because she was ready for another treat, it was kind of funny, but I wasn't quite ready for it, so it more like startled me than anything. But really what's crazy is like, she gets behind me and I feel like I can just sense her because she breathes like right on my neck, which gets my attention, which is pretty cool. But there they are. And we just walk around the pasture nice and easy. And I'll stop every once in a while and I'll pet them. It's hard for me to hold the camera and the treats and the harness all at the same time. So I'm gonna stop for just a second here. Oh, here you go. There we go. Oh, girls, you're motivated by food. Ah. Oh, this is awesome. Here you go. Good job, Hallie. Here you go, Faith. Oh, you guys are coming a long way. I think our relationship is really blossoming here. All right, Hallie. Now, I know I just touched on this briefly about the scoring and all that. There's definitely a lot more information out there about it, but I just started learning about it today, and I'm definitely going to look into a lot more of it about the fescue toxicosis and stuff like that. But you know, this is an awesome journey, and I'm really happy that you guys are joining us here for this, watching our videos and seeing how we're learning as we're going along here. But you know, definitely this is a great adventure, and I knew that when we first bought this property that I was going to want to have cows eventually. It was something that I've always wanted to do, but I didn't realize that it was going to be just as much fun as it is, and how rewarding this is. These animals, it's so therapeutic. I come out here, it's super calm, it's super quiet. The cows are coming out, they look forward to seeing me, and we got a beautiful sunsets here. Like, this is the life. So thank you.